Hi everybody, I'm Wade Bradford. Welcome to my channel. Today is Wednesday, so it's time for another edition of What Am I Working on Wednesday? This is basically just me as a writer, kind of unpacking the projects that I've been tinkering with or drafting or working on or sending out. So let's get to it. I've got my handy dandy notebook, but I don't really need to look at it to tell you that I have been working on my fantasy middle grade novel that I've talked about frequently because I've been working on it for about 1.5 years now. I'm still drafting it, working with my agent. We are hoping to send it out at the end of this month, which is June 2020. So that's still going forward, and I guess the biggest thing that I've worked on with that particular project is that I revised the opening chapter significantly. It's still the same events, but when I wrote it the first time, it had the perspective of a minor character that's not too important to the plot, and I don't think it matches the rest of the book. So I've reinvented the opening chapter, and I think it's a stronger beginning. So that's the main thing I've been working on. All this hard work. What do I have next? Okay, so there's a project that I started writing 10 years ago, a youngish middle grade novel, and I reached chapter 5. I finished chapter 5, and then I put it away. I kind of sent it out to a few people, and they were like, "Meh, I don't know about this," and so I put it away for a while, and I didn't realize until last week that that little while it's been a decade. I thought it was like 3 or 4 years. I wrote these 5 chapters 10 years ago. So I was looking at these 5 chapters, and the story kind of sticks with me, and I like the story, so I've decided to continue working on it. I've slightly revised it. The first line, actually, you can help me out. I'm going to tell you the current line of the way it opens, the first sentence, and then I'm going to tell you the original first sentence, which I changed. I wrote the first sentence 10 years ago. Here's the newly revised line. I'll do that one first. So this is called The Tales of Shakespeare, and tales is spelled like a dog tail or a cat tail or a rat tail, so that kind of tale. The Tales of Shakespeare. Chapter 1. William Shakespeare stared at his horn book and the parchment of rough blank paper that lay upon it. He let out a long, sad sigh. "Writing is hard," he groaned. That was actually the first 3 sentences, so I cheated a little bit. Oh my goodness. He's got himself a large stick. Now everybody in the family is coming out to see Chase with the stick. That's how bored we are here at the Bradford household. Wow, ooh, what happened? Chase got a stick! All right, so those were the first 3 sentences. Here is the first sentence, the original draft. William Shakespeare picked his nose. That was designed to sort of shock you and get your attention, and it was really catering to, there's certain books that are like intentionally gross. They're about farts and boogers and things like that. It's got gross things in the title. I think the attempt is like, let's get boys to read. Boys like gross things, is the belief of some writers, perhaps. Yeah, so that's what I was going for. And when I read it 10 years later, I was like, nah, I don't know that it needs that. It could be funny if we get Shakespeare saying writing is hard. But you can be the judge. Maybe you like the directness of William Shakespeare picking his nose. I just have a feeling that people might just put down the book. So the last thing that I want to tell you about, I'm going to use the help of this black mirror here, is I've been working on a card game that I am calling Jailbirds. And it is about a group of birds who have, in my imagination at least, they've been wrongfully convicted of crimes they did not commit. And so they use these different cards some of them are tools, some of them are obstacles they have to get out of, but there are different cards that they need to, they're tool cards that they need to use to escape, And there are other cards like Sergeant Wiener here that they need to overcome, like Lieutenant Pounce. They can get, and Deputy Drool, and the Revenge Worm. They can use birdseed and catnip and dog toys to bribe their way past the guards, and they can use their special abilities. For example, Flamingo can melt any ice prison that they might be stuck in. So that's what I've been working on. It's called Jailbirds, and if I do anything more with it, I will tell you about it. I want to know from you, my fellow writer friends on authortube, have you ever designed a game? I find it an interesting challenge. I'm not very good at it yet, but it's fun to try to make a story-based game that your friends can play and that it works well. That it's not too easy, not too difficult, not too complicated. What I've noticed lately when I've looked at games that have sold well, even something as kind of crude as Cards Against Humanity, is that there's actually an elegant simplicity to these games. Now that I've tried coming up with my own game, I've realized that, wow, it's not easy. It's not easy. So that's what I've been working on this Wednesday, this week. I will talk to you next Wednesday, and I hope everything in your world is going well and you are staying creative. Talk to you soon.